Hey everybody, Edo here, and this is Monstrous. The good folks at Good Games Publishing sent it along. It's designed by Kim Brebach, I think, perhaps. And this was actually a monstrous Kickstarter a few years ago. I remember seeing it. It felt out of the blue, but it was massively successful. I didn't do a preview for it or play it at all. And it just had this incredible creature art. And unlock after unlock after unlock. And so anyway, it came out and has presumably done well. They're working on an expansion which will come to Kickstarter, and Kim sent along a copy of this to check out and review. Probably get the expansion at some point, but this is just the base game right now. And this is a fun dexterity card tossing game with some more sort of tactical, maybe not quite strategic, but just some more thought that goes into how and where you throw your stuff and why. To me, this is one of those games that feels like the perfect execution of what it is trying to be. The game's pretty simple. You're going to lay out, and there's spacing rules I'm not following right now, but you lay out a number of these city cards or location cards. There's a whole bunch. It's all based on Greek mythology. They're all gorgeous. The art on the cards and the monsters and everything are just awesome. I mean, if anything, it's a little small on these cards, but it's awesome. And the same is true for the locations. So these are going to be set up in a ring, and there's all these scenarios with different combinations of ones, and they all have their own abilities and rewards and favor, which is what you're trying to get. You're trying to get favor, which is these flames. Not a typical thing for favor, but it works. Or faith rather, not favor, even sort of faith, maybe lighting a fire towards you with the gods. And what you're going to be doing is each player, each god, has an identical set of creatures. You remove a couple based on the number of players, and you shuffle them all up. So you're not drawing at the same time, and you're going to have 3 at your hand at any given time. Some let you draw, and I mean, it might change, but essentially you're picking between a few. And you're essentially from behind the table, whatever space you're in, you're tossing it onto the table. And you're tossing it either towards one of these locations, which will get you some faith, or you're tossing it towards some of the monsters, because you can knock out monsters and things like that. But we're like gods, and we're throwing down these monsters onto the playing field, or onto the land. And it's card tossing, right? This game is a skill-based dexterity card tossing game, right? They've just amped it up and made it really interesting, which I enjoy. I think, so it's interesting because essentially locations have abilities that let you pick up, change, score points. So if you get on a location, that helps. Some locations, you're trying to be the player with the most. Some creatures trap other creatures when they're hit. Others have abilities that affect, destroy creatures, remove creatures, add creatures, impact locations. Lots of cool stuff. You're going to have your hand, and each monster has a generic side, which is if you hit a monster, gain a fate. If you hit a location, gain a fate. So just a sort of standard throw. Or they have their ability side. Cyclops, you can throw a monster. The Phoenix, when hit, this is sort of that trap ability. When it's hit, put Phoenix on top of its god's deck. If you hit a monster, you gain a throw. You know, they all sort of do different things, and you find yourself really sort of thinking about what you want to do, what you're aiming for. And it's nice because I think why it works is that desire to hit something makes for a more interesting card throwing experience, right? You're like, I want to land over there, I want to land over there. And the more I'm thinking about why I want to do something, the more I'm interested in it. There's actually the kids variant I like a lot, and I think perhaps is, it's a little bit more forgiving in that you can, if you miss entirely, which is very common, right? If you slides off, you miss short, or it goes off the table, whatever, you can discard a faith token to toss again. And I see why it has it for kids, but I also think sort of, for me, I liked it too, right? There's a cost to it, but you feel like you didn't just flub as much. Because it is, with them laid out, you're going to flub a lot. The other cool thing that's happening as play, and it just toss, go around. Everyone's just resolving and tossing, basically until someone has drawn up their last card from their sort of, their deck, not their hand, but their straw deck, and then everyone gets a final shot, is you get this nice playmat of creatures and locations all over the place and triggering events. And again, it's a card tossing game. It's pretty quick, but the additional features and the theme and just the overall evocative play of the creatures levels it up. And I think it's really well executed and an articulated idea. How can we make a cool card tossing game even cooler rather than just trying to toss it into hats? And mission accomplished. I really think they nailed that. So I have no idea what the expansion's about or what they're adding. I could make some guesses, but I'm super curious to see how they take this idea further and move it around. Well, I'll see if I get to play it. So anyway, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.